I'm Dick Carriere. I'm the senior member of the Carriere Family Farms farming operation. We farm rice, walnuts, and olives mainly. And we have a farm that has the 5th generation actually working on the farm now. Well, the farm actually started with my grandfather back in the 1890s, and then has gone through the generations. My father followed him, and he was the main person as far as establishing our original crop that we grew, which was rice, and then we've expanded into the other crops as the next generations have come on. We farm about 1,350 acres of rice, about 1,600 acres of walnuts, 800 acres of olives. In our olive operation, we just basically contract all our olives at this point in time, and it's pressed by the people that contract our olives. In the walnut operation, we have we've vertically integrated into the full processing line, and we process both in-shell and shelled walnuts for export and domestic uses. And we also, in the walnut operation, we have partners in Spain, as Borges of Spain, and we've formed a company in California called Borges of California, which we are involved with the Spanish partners, and they are one of the biggest importers of walnuts into Spain. We have the 5th generation actually working on the farm. There are actually 10 active members of the family that work in some capacity, whether it be in the processing end, the grower relations end, or the actual farming end. And then we have a couple other family members that work seasonal. It's a constant job just keeping the family, as most people know, a lot of family operations don't succeed because of lack of communication and things. So we do a lot of communication workshops together, and we've also brought in some consultants both on the business side and the family structure side, trying to keep fresh ideas going and keep the younger generation involved both historically and bring them with their new ideas from, and all of them have gone to college, and so they bring new ideas back. We try to incorporate those ideas. It changed dramatically, especially from the time my grandfather and father started with the mule-driven combines and things of that nature, clear to the computer age, with this generation taking that segment of it, and so it's the change has been unbelievable, not only in the farming end, but in the processing and communications end, where we have gotten into the computer age. But looking back on the equipment and how the equipment has changed is just dramatic. Just like I say, from the horse-drawn, the mule-driven harvester to GPS on our harvesters at this point in time. Originally tried to, because rice is flooded during the season, and they had to figure out how to do that, how to plant it. Then eventually they figured out that they could actually flood the fields and plant it by air, drop the seed right into the water, and that's evolved into a process that we still use today. But then in harvesting, there was no real equipment that was geared to harvest rice because of the tough straw and the tough conditions. The combines that harvested wheat and barley in those days were much lighter, and they didn't have a way to harvest the rice. So they actually started bundling it and taking it out of the field by hand and harvesting with stationary harvesters. And then it evolved to some harvesters that were tractor drawn, driven, pulled, and then eventually evolved into self-propelled harvesters. My father was actually an innovator in that area, where he actually built 2 rice harvesters in his own shop, and incorporated a lot of ideas that he had learned from the different commercial harvester people. And yeah, one of the harvesters is still actually running today, and so it's been a evolution of great changes for the whole industry. Well, from a personal standpoint, it's just a thing of pride for us, and we love the land. We love producing food for the world, and I think a family farm can operate a lot more efficiently and a lot more. I don't know how to say it, but bring the old traditions and the things that have evolved over the years into the farming operation and produce food in an efficient way rather than big corporate farms. Sometimes we could possibly be referred to as a corporate farm because we as a family have taken advantage of the different structures, but it's still a family farm, and I think it's important that we keep that heritage and that family idea going. We as producers provide that food relatively cheaply. Nowhere in the world does anybody spend that little percentage of their disposable income on food. And so as we get involved in this, over the years it has been a policy that the United States has a cheap food policy. And when you do that, sometimes you need government intervention to protect markets, to protect from overproduction, things of that nature. So a blend of the government involved and the efficiencies that we do in U.S. agriculture provides cheap food to our consumers, the best food in the world, the best quality of food in the world. And so I think it requires a team effort of the producers and the government involved to protect that. Yeah, harvest is always the culmination of what you've done all year, and in the fall when you harvest, the mornings are beautiful and happiest time of the year for us because it's a culmination of what we've done all year. It's the thing we work for and why we work so hard for it, because you have a satisfaction of doing something well, plus you're producing something that everybody uses.